The overall market has crashed again today. We are now in bear market territory. I'm going to talk about uranium and why that is still a hedge for me. I'm going to show you things from the past. We got some breaking news for uranium today. Some very big news. People are just overlooking UEC. It has to do with Russian uranium. We got mergers and acquisitions, and we're going to show the overall market. I'm going to show you some stuff that I was talking about for the last 2 years on my channel, and a lot of this is coming true. Same thing with uranium. It's going higher, and I'm going to show you a lot of interesting stuff, so you're going to want to stick around. First off, the market is down a bunch today. The NASDAQ is down 4%. We see everything down. Uranium is on the right here. This is the biggest volume right here. So we see UEC down 14% today. This one obviously can move. They had some massive news today. They're doing acquisition actually of UEX, and we're going to talk about that. But I want to show you the NASDAQ here. The NASDAQ during the dot-com bubble, this is the drop. This is the global financial crisis. This is COVID. I've been saying this for the last year, this particular thing, that we are in for another big bear market. And we really have seen a massive crash, 16,000 recently, and then down to 11,000 now. So we're down 4% again today, the overall market. But I just wanted to show you in relation to all of the other, big issues when the market had some big issues. That's what we look at. UEC, big news with uranium. There's two big things to cover. So UEC, this shows that when you have acquisitions like this, UEC is getting UEX shares, which has hundreds of millions of pounds of uranium. That's going to be every 8 shares, it looks like, if UEX gets 1 UEC share. Now UEC was almost 100% higher in the last couple months. So this is actually a good deal, I think. They have a strong balance sheet, 180 million cash, liquid assets. They got that 5 million pounds of uranium. It's almost doubled already. This is really outstanding for UEC. I think the market's really overlooking this today because of that. The management at UEX was one of the main issues, and now it's going to be very good for UEC. Now, my buddy Lewis Morgan owns 2% of the whole company of UEX, and he is now going to own a lot of UEC. So that is really, really nice. We'll get Lewis on eventually to talk about, kind of what he's done. He is very bullish uranium as well. Now, this is some big news. So the reactors of the U.S. facility will shut down, is what media is saying, without exports of enriched uranium from Russia. So this was just out. John Quakes actually tweeted this out. U.S. utilities could face reactor shutdown if enriched uranium supplies from Russia stops, said Matt Bowen and Paul Dubber, researchers at Columbia University Center of Global Energy Policies, right? And they noted that nuclear power accounts for over 20% of the generating capacity, obviously, as we know, in some areas in the United States, and that if the exports of enriched uranium from Russia stopped, electrical prices may exceed the current inflation rate. We know that already. I've been saying that on my channel. And they said that most of the reactors in the United States and the European Union were built by Russia, and they supply these, components and everything. So what they're saying in this is that Russia actually, because the United States wants to put $4.3 billion into our own enrichment, they are actually going to be denying supplies to the U.S. So as I said, John Quakes said that it's a warning that nuclear reactors in the U.S. will shut down. And after the U.S. announces $4.3 billion plan to pivot away from Russia and their uranium enrichment, and the U.S. obviously is looking to wean off of Russia. So this is still on the table. We could still ban Russian uranium. This is very big. But, uranium is still in the $50 range. We're going to probably see Sprott Physical Uranium Trust buying up uranium. Now, I want to show you guys. This was last year, the day of last year, 2021. Now, I was saying that I'm hedging. So I've been long uranium for multiple years. And I'm hedging because of inflation. I said there was a market crash coming. And really, Michael J. Burry let everyone know about this, about inflation. And in this, I also talk about 1970s energy crisis coming again. I say that shrinkflation is one of the signs, and record commodity prices. Obviously, we saw uranium energy crisis, huge stock move coming. Inflation numbers, what it does to uranium stocks. I talked about Bitcoin crashing, and it did. It was like 50,000 then. And I said, this is going to crash. Uranium sector catalyst coming, massive moves coming. And then my final proof for uranium to go to $200. And all this, basically, in this video, I talk about everything that I've been talking about on the channel. And it is nice to see these things happening, but it is sad that the overall market is experiencing something like this, a 4% day. We're seeing uranium stocks. People are selling off. I am not selling off my UEC. Now, I bought this. I normally don't say this. I normally say this because I'm a day or swing trader, and I normally don't tell people on my YouTube my long positions, specifically what I bought them at, because I usually only save that for people in my Discord. But I'll tell you one position. UEC, I am still holding this. I've bought this many times and traded it. But last week, I really started liking what the management was doing. And UEC buying all of UEX is massive for me. The fact that they're a U.S. producer, the $4.3 billion is coming to the U.S. from the government is massive for me. And I'm going, on a long hold with this. It might be somewhat of a long swing, multiple, but I want to see $6, $7 in this stock. I would love to see that. Now, I did not sell when it was almost up $1 from where my average is. I'll tell you that. Last week, I did not sell when it was almost up $1. So I'm not going to sell it today either. You're saying, oh, you're a swing trader. You could, swing it and you could buy all those shares back. This market is a rip your face off market. You can see how crazy everything is, okay? Tesla's down 6%. Amazon's down 6.5%. Now, I'm going to do the documentary. I'm going to touch on this more in the documentary. But when stocks like that do a split, which Tesla and Amazon, the biggest, some of the biggest stocks in the market, do a split to bring the price down, it's telling you that there is a bear market coming. It's telling you that the company wants to get new investors coming in, seeing the price low, that don't know what a market cap is, that can help their share price not look as expensive. That's why companies sell things for $9.99, not $10, because it looks more expensive, right? So obviously you still get the company is still the same market cap at this, at the end of the day, but the price is lower. So people think it's better, new investors especially. So, you see that, I see that all the time. But this is something to keep an eye on. Russian uranium, enriched uranium, the overall market correction. I think money is going to be coming over to energy. We saw a 20% move in UEC, but as I said, you can see big down days. I think this is going to recover very quickly. This news is just too good. But when you have Camet go down almost 10%, obviously UEC's kind of like that leverage play. It's higher leveraged in a sense. It moves higher and lower sometimes. So I'm not worried. I'm still very bullish on uranium. The overall market looks pretty dirty. If you guys want to know when I'm going to buy and sell uranium stocks, there's a link in the description below. And if you guys like the documentary that I have done on uranium, you're really going to like documentary 3. So please hit the like and subscribe, share. Thank you for supporting the channel. It's been a long, multiple years on this channel covering uranium, and I'm not going to let a bear market drop my sentiment in uranium. I'm very excited still. Overall, the market, unfortunately, people are going to experience, they're experiencing some really harsh times right now. Uranium stocks, they're doing well. Uranium's doing well overall in the past, 8-10 months. So